for this tutorial and giveaway, we're going to be making this adorable owl. And there are lots of ways that you can use this owl. You can punch a hole at the top and kind of use them as like a big jumbo gift tag, or you can use them as a scrapbooking piece for like a larger project. And he's so cute, you could probably just pop him in a frame and use him as a decorative element. So I'm about to get started by showing you all of the materials and tools you'll need to accomplish this owl. But before I do, like I mentioned in my other video where I make the toe anklet, all of my tutorials going forward, at least the smaller ones, are going to have a giveaway with it. So for the winner of this giveaway, I'm going to send you in the mail all of the materials you need to accomplish creating this owl. So I'm even actually going to use the paper that I use to create this exact owl and cut the pieces out for you. So when you get it in the mail, you're going to have all of the pieces that you need to combine and create this owl here. And that includes some of the sparkly fluff that I made on some of the details and glitter. I'll be sending you enough glitter and enough sparkly fluff to accomplish this owl right here. And as usual, the only things you're going to need are tools such as an X-Acto knife, scissors, glue stick, things like that. But I'll be sending you all of the fun materials. All you have to do, like the video, be a subscriber of mine, and in the comments bar, tell me what your favorite animal is. And if you're under 18, have parental permission. Okay. So what you're going to need to do the project is decorative paper, like so. This is the paper I've already used to like cut some of the pieces out, so that's why there's big old holes and gaps. And if you're wondering where I got my paper, I used this Bella Boutique stack. These are some of the sheets in that stack. I pulled out a few pieces for some of the elements of the owl in this one, and then also this stack here. Okay, so those are where I got my paper from, but you can use solid color cardstock, you can use other decorative paper, you can use whatever you want. And then you're going to need the template for the owl, which I have created and saved as a PDF that you can then print out. And you can get this template from my website, which I will put in the descriptions bar. The tools you're going to need is either an X-Acto blade or a pair of scissors, or both. You're going to need some sort of adhesive. I'm using a glue stick. And then for some of the detail areas, I'm using this Elmer's glue pen. And then for the googly eyes, which will also be included in the winner's kit, because like I said, it's going to have all of that stuff that you'll need to recreate my exact owl. I'm going to use super glue. It's like a generic super glue. And then I'm going to use sparkly fluff, and this color is in brown sugar. And then I'm going to be using Martha Stewart Crafts glitter in, I don't know, I wanted my owl to have green eyes. The glitter is going to be for the eye area, so choose whichever glitter you would like. And for the lucky subscriber, you will be getting green glitter. But feel free to let me know if you win, if you prefer another color glitter for his eyes, because I've got lots of different color glitters. Okay, so the only other thing you're going to need is a Sharpie. I'm using two different Sharpie weights, this thinner line and this thicker line. You don't necessarily need both, but I do suggest having a Sharpie for some cute little details. And that's about it, so let's get started creating the owl. So the first thing you're going to want to do is visit my website. The link is going to be in the description bar, and go to the printable PDF that has this owl template. And what I've done is I've created this owl template and saved it as a PDF so that you can download it onto your computer and then print it out. And I suggest when you're printing out the PDF to print it to a cardstock. And the reason why I say print it to a cardstock instead of regular paper is because it's going to make it easier to cut out. And then once these template pieces are cut out, if it's a cardstock, it's going to be easier to trace around the template and then continue to use this template for multiple owls instead of just using it one time. Once you've got the template printed out, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut out each of these individual pieces. I always suggest keeping the overall template legend guide that's right here, which just shows you what the completed owl should look like. So it's here on the template, and you may want to keep that just so that you can have it as reference. And so once you've cut this out, and you can either cut these pieces out by using an X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors. You're going to want to pay attention to how many of each piece you're going to need, since there's only one piece per part to the owl on the template. So you'll see that his little feathers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that little guy is right here, so you're going to want to cut out 10 of these. Now I'm going to use paper in this video that has a great deal of graphics on it, so I'm actually opting not to use some of these smaller pieces. I'm actually going to draw them in. But whatever paper you choose, feel free to either use these little guys here so that you can create these little details, or draw them in with the Sharpie, which is what I'll be doing in this video. But the overall owl pieces are in here, and then all of the little details are in here as well. And then there are still things like eyelashes that you'll need to draw in with the Sharpie. So once you've got this cut out, you're going to have pieces that look like this. Okay, so once you've got these pieces all cut out, including, you know, the little guys, then you can choose the paper you want. And then these are the papers that I chose to pull from in order to make all of the pieces to make the overall owl. I'm going to use this blue sheet. This has this cute little bird, and we're going to do a little trick with that bird in just a minute. And then I'm using this black felted paper. The black area of the paper is a normal paper, and then there's this soft furry felt-like material over these designs here. So I'm going to use that because it reminded me of feathers. And then I'm going to use this graphic paper. This one here, especially this area. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have your sheet of paper. We'll work with this one, for instance. And then using your cutout pieces, if you're using like a solid color cardstock, then it's really not necessary to pick and choose where you want your template to go over the paper. But if you're using paper like this that has graphics on it, then you're going to want to decide where you want to put your template in order to take advantage of some of those really pretty graphics. So once you've chosen area, you could either trace it on this side, and if that makes you a little nervous because you're not sure if you're going to be able to cut around your pencil line, then a trick is to remember where you wanted the graphics to show on the back of the paper, and excuse me, on the front of the paper, and then just trace it on the back. So once you've got your area chosen, then all you're going to do is take a pencil and trace around each one of your templates. Using an X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors, trace out each part of the template. And you are going to be left with pieces that look like this. So here are my pieces. I've got the head of the owl and his wings, and then this is his body. These would make up his eye area, and then we have his beak. So let's assemble this together using some glue. I'm going to choose to use glue stick, but you can use any type of adhesive that you'd like. But before I do, I wanted to show you something that I did with the body of the owl. One of the papers that I had chosen from the paper stack had this really beautiful small bird on it, and I want the bird to show through the feathers, and you'll see from our little template here that these feathers are supposed to go on top of the body, but you'll notice that my bird is getting covered up. So what I did is I took an X-Acto blade, or an X-Acto knife, and I just traced the knife and cut along the body of the bird, and then just kind of popped them out a little bit. So now when he sits underneath the wings, his head is popped on top. Assembling your owl. And then for the little head poking through, I'm just going to put a little glue under that so that he stays secure. And then I'm going to continue on with all the pieces using my little owl as reference. So I see the next step is to put his little face full of feathers, like so. And then gluing on the next piece. Like that. And then we've got his beak. So once you've got your pieces glued on, then you're going to want to do the fun extras, and you'll see we've got some eyes here. And in this template, I'm going to use googly eyes. Okay, and then I'm going to use just a little bit of super glue to glue on my googly eyes. And I'm going to use, whoops, a pair of tweezers to stick the googly eyes on. And it'll take a second for the super glue to set. So I have a second to rearrange it. And now while that's drying, just put these guys away real quick. Okay, I'm going to take a Sharpie. I'm going to use two different weights of Sharpie. I'm going to use this finer point Sharpie and this thicker point Sharpie. And I'm going to do some of the details that you see in the reference, like these little dotted lines. Just to add a little bit more detail to the owl. Do the same thing on this side. Add his little feathers. Like so. And this is where you can be creative. It doesn't have to be even on both sides. There's no need to be symmetrical. Oh, we've got some dotted lines down here. His eyes. Which I'm gonna create with the Sharpie. And then using the smaller Sharpie, I'm going to create his feathers and his eyelashes, or her eyelashes. Your owl could be a boy or a girl. I'm going to color them in. I need to cut out his feet. So I realized I forgot to cut out his feet. And at that point, you're done, but I want to add just a little bit more to him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this glue pen and I'm going to fill around his eyes. We're going to give him some green eyes. Like so. And then I'm just going to shake them off. And then doing the same thing you did for the eyes, you're going to use your glue stick and outline the shapes of the wings. And then using sparkly fluff and a tray, sprinkle the sparkly fluff over the wings and tap it off, and you've got your owl.